Hey, folks, this is the Bacchanal Podcast, a fusion of hip-hop, video games, comics, music, and nerd culture all rolled up into one spectacular show. Join me, Akil, with KC in Toronto.
What up?
As we discuss nerd news every week, adding our Canadian Trinidadian spin on things. Today, we got special guests in the building. We got Music Marcus.
Hey.
Okay, just call me Music Mondays. I know I have to copyright that shit anyway. Do you guys have like a black version of Trailer Park Boys?
Nah,
that's a Canadian thing, man. That's a Canadian show.
What would that be called? Lick Up Boys? Lick Up, Stick Up Boys in Toronto?
No. That show he's talking about is actually a Canadian show, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Trailer Park Boys?
Yeah, Trailer Park Boys is Canadian. So I'm like, what's the black version of that? What would that be for like a Scarborough dude?
No. I honestly don't.
Waste Youth. Waste Man, the show. I don't know what it would be called.
Marcus, what's good, man? What's going on in Japan? You getting pussy out there? You saying you're a football player? What's going on? These girls are all up on you, the one black guy in Japan? What's a life like there?
Boy, howdy. I have stories that when I retire, I'll actually tell because I'm pretty sure they're illegal right now.
Oh, Lord. I got to get one.
Mm-hmm.
I've been hearing stories, but my cousin Tashawn went out to Japan. He said it's real out there for a black man.
Oh yeah,
we are superstars. They were like, coffee, when he was walking around and shit. I was like, oh my God.
Tinder and bars are going to be your friend, but not really bars at the moment because of some incident that happened under my squadron. But I'll just leave it at that. Currently living in Okinawa, Japan at the moment. I keep on saying that constantly because there is a large ass story behind that. If you want to know the details of that, please check out the podcast Music Mondays, SoundCloud.com/Music Monday Show, SoundCloud.com/Music Monday Show. That is what I'm doing.
Checking it out.
Plugging yourself right there.
No, that's good. I like it.
Yeah. I recently did an episode where I pretty much just talked about the shit that's been going on as far as my situation here. It's a kind of a wonky, interesting back and forth story on what's exactly happening. So not to get super depressing, I'll pretty much just say lots of interesting shit has happened, and basically a big decision is starting to be made over this week itself. Other than that, everything in Okinawa is amazing. As you can clearly not see from my angle down here, as I hold on for a second, or is it called in Japan chotto mate? Let's see. Boxes. Hentai comics are basically hella cheap over here.
Nice. Yeah, man, we on YouTube now, so we can show everything you were showing us last time. People can see. I can't.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you'll get banned easily. So I've just pretty much
put the tentacles.
Actually, no. Hold on. Let me look under my desk. Oh, okay. Picture of my future wife right here.
YouTube. Okay. Jeez.
Yep. Look at that thing.
Full of milk. Future wife.
Who was that? What was that?
Famous AV model, or as I like to call future wife, fight me nerds, Hitomi Tanaka. Biggest, like the bustiest JAV model of all time in Japan. Very.
I see Casey writing notes down there. He's just like,
yeah.
All right, now.
Check this out.
Yeah, you're
models. All right.
You're not gonna hear him in the next 3 days after he finds out who she is. And I have not a big fascination behind most of this stuff. Like I said in my podcast, I call myself the gentleman pervert for various reasons. If you want more,
how does that work? It's like, excuse me, ma'am, can I fondle those breasts?
No, he's like, let me get this door before I thrust in your butt cheeks.
Excuse me.
No, it's more or less, excuse me, kind lady of the night. I do like to favor in the offers. Can we please negotiate this on a bottle of Hypnotic, if that actually exists? If not, Japanese whiskey would probably work too.
Right. Shit, Hypnotic. Mix some Hennessy with that. You got some Incredible Hulk. Throwback Thursday shit right there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the proportion size are probably small too. Anyway, as I was saying, most of the time here, I'm just essentially collecting hentai comics and just games itself. Yeah. Trust me when I say this, I have so many boxes and boxes and boxes of video games, anime, and just a bunch of shit all together that I've actually gotten so consumed by collecting so much stuff. Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
this is from my second favorite artist down here too.
So they
Zoom in on the breast camera. Look at the camera.
The Thickums has hit Japan. They figured out the roti and the curry in Japan.
Or in the South, they have figured out the cornbread.
They eating good in Japan, eh?
I have like 50 hentai books as counting. Yeah.
Marcus, I think you have a problem.
No, fuck you, I don't. I have a solution to this.
What's the solution to that?
More fucking comics.
What if I told you you can have sex with women?
I've done that many times before. I consider myself a drawing artist, and I'm using this for developmental research. So, with that being said, get ready for an interesting Christmas present you're going to be getting later.
You sound like a refined pervert.
For research purposes, actually. That's what I'm saying, man.
Refined.
Intellectually. Yeah.
Gentleman pervert, goddammit, and don't you forget that, okay? I'm trying to stick that name so that when you see me in the next bondage AV video, my name is going to be on there, Untitled, aka Gentleman Pervert.
Hey man, you gotta live your truth.
Yeah, man, copyright that, man.
I'm not mad at that.
Like it.
I'm living vicariously, okay? That's what I'm pretty much just saying.
True comic.
Yes. Also, want to say this. Check this bad boy out. This is a Evangelion pocket watch with the Nerve logo on it too. Guess how much I got that for?
Did you win at like a swap meet?
There's more interesting thing about that too. There's a thing called Ichiban Kujis in Crane games. Have you ever played the Yakuza series before?
Yeah, but all I heard was Coochie right there. But what were you saying?
Yeah, he lost me at Coochie.
Okay, so if anybody has played Yakuza, the Crane games, those things are not only 100% real, but you can get like some kick-ass prizes with them at the same time. But you'll be pissing away a lot of money for it. For instance, move this fucking thing right there, and it almost dropped. I got this kick-ass Dragon Balls. That's
fire.
Nice.
Yeah, these things easily can go for about. These things are based like $15. Like I got a guy that I'm connected with. He has some shit on there that will like blow your mind. If you think I have a problem, I could show you like 3 pictures of his collection and you'll freak out.
You sound like a snitch in the first 48. You think you got me? Where'd you see
Not me?
Up the street. That motherfucker's guilty.
The one thing about the military is that you have to actually have connections in this whole association, so that way you can get some pretty cool stuff overseas.
I see PS4 right there.
Yeah, what is that?
No,
is that a Hori fight stick?
I got 5 of them.
Oh my god, I'm coming over. I got one. I got the first one that dropped, but that's a nice one though.
I got that one. I got a Nintendo Switch one. I got like the PlayStation 3 edition for 2. Above me up this cabinet, I have a old classic one for the PS3 that has a white joystick and white buttons on there too.
I got the white on the sides. You know the original one, the Street Fighter 4 one that came out.
Yeah.
I know which one
I got. Yeah, that's the one I got a long time ago.
Yeah, so
since then.
As soon as I get my Twitch stream, all I'm gonna say is you're gonna see a lot of prizes being thrown away left and right like crazy.
The shipment cost is gonna be crazy.
Oh, almost forgot. I even have more, but wait, there's more. I even bought myself the Monster Hunter illustration book for about $15 around here, which is next to nothing. JoJo comics, manga, old school manga here is like $1. Like literally pretty much $1. If you want like
go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, people are doing conventions and they're flipping shit like that, like the Dragon Ball Z thing you showed me with him doing the Kai, the Kame Kai or whatever you call it, the Hadouken. They're selling that for like $85, and you could get it for $15 US.
No, you could there's a place over here. So you're gonna laugh when I say this. There's a place here called Hard Off. Hard Off is essentially Hard Off is essentially a store where they'll pretty much like sell used goods and stuff. Yeah. Well, it's a recycle store, as it's basically called. But the thing about this place, though, is that you'll have like recycled gifts, like the Dragon Ball Z figure I showed you. Yeah. They could easily sell that for $15. If you go to another store it's associated with it called Book Off, a place that I know at, you can get that for like $6, easy, tops. Dude. Like, there's a reason why my parents are gonna be super pissed off when they wonder why I have so many boxes of Dragon Ball Z and and Naruto figures.
Oh shit! Akil, we get into the intro?
Yeah, we did the intro, didn't we?
Okay, cool. I'm just making sure.
just
want to stay consistent.
I was just like, I think we did that shit.
Welcome everybody. This is episode 103.
Yes,
Bacchanal Podcast. Yeah, man.
So as you can see, we have Marcus in the building. Do you have any Funkos? Because I collect Funkos.
Look at this junkie licking his lips. He's like, hold on. Fuck the intro. You got those Funkos though, baby? I just need, give me a fin. I'll take a fin.
How fucking dare you tell me that I actually collect Funko Pops when I get some kick-ass figures of it as itself? Funko Pops are based like from Wooly, who's also Canadian, from Wooly Versus. He hates Funko Pops for a good reason, because Funko Pops are basically figures for office supplies to show you that you actually have diversity and you're a nerd.
Damn.
In your cubicle itself. Not saying that your job sucks. I'm just saying that, your job is kind of boring.
Akil, show him a couple of yours up top over your head.
Oh, I got some exclusives. I got most of mine are signed. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna disappear for a second.
Yeah, man, this dick measuring contest right now. Oh,
you mean this I have right here?
Oh shit! Look at the detail. Look at the details.
Yes. K-On mermaid figure right there. That's he already lost it. Even starting. Let's see what else I got here. I'm not gonna move that. I got a monster.
All right, I'm back, baby. I'm back.
He's got smoke for you. He's got the smoke. He got a whole pack of cigarettes.
Ron Perlman signed Hellboy exclusive.
Oh, that's so adorable. That is so cute. That's really nice.
Walter E. Jones, Black Ranger.
This episode already, right? We're having a good time.
Exclusive.
I got myself
the plastic on something.
Tommy. Green Ranger signed by Tommy himself.
Oh my
Dragon Quest shot glass right there.
Let me hit you with the fire here. Cosmic Ghost Rider, only 100 of these made. They had this at LA Comic-Con. He has Thanos strapped to his stomach.
Hey, this is the best podcast we had in a minute, man.
Oh boy, what should I actually bring out next? I already have my JoJo's
smoke show.
What else should I whip out? Glow in the dark Mysterio. He's glowing. Walmart exclusive.
He's looking around like, man, let me play it easy with Akil right now. He's just sliding.
So,
he go whip out like Stan Lee's signature.
Yeah.
So I found this bad boy at the usual store I go to. It's basically this is a official Metal Gear Solid 2 art book with in cardboard itself, with the identification of it being in a cardboard, and a CD behind it too for the concept art also.
What do I have?
What the?
Master's degree.
Oh God, we're kidding about that shit. Nobody trying to see that.
Nobody trying to see that bullshit. Care about
education. Yeah, fuck education. Hold on for a second.
Marcus about to flex. He about to whip out like a live. He about to whip out the sex doll.
Let's see. What else do I got around here that I haven't packed up already?
Some good stuff, man.
Let's see, some old school Japanese vinyl records that I actually collected for about $1 or $2. But that's little 45s. That's beside the point. Monster Hunter Limited Edition Monster Hunter Nintendo 3DS on there too.
I heard amazing things about Monster Hunter. I never played it. Is it a good game?
I never played it either. I just bought it because it looked nice. Anyway, other than the nerd flex, mostly wrestling stuff here. That doesn't really matter. Oh, well, so I'm gonna get in trouble.
Check out our YouTube if you want to see what's going on in this, man. If you want to see what we're showing and see what we're talking about, check us out on YouTube if you're listening on the podcast.
I might get it. Well, nobody's going to be watching this in my squadron. This bad boy right here is a one small mini cup of sake that I actually got for about $1 around here too.
I might have water in it.
The Japanese know their stuff, so I can guarantee you that is authentication of really good ass sake, my friend.
Nice.
Let me see.
You got a nice collection.
I got a lot of stuff. I cannot put emphasis on you.
Nice. Classic Super Nintendo. It's kind of faded. I can't see what the game is, though. Can you say what the game is?
Super Fire Pro Wrestling, which is actually a really classic series of wrestling games.
Yeah. That's dope, man.
I don't have any of my good stuff here. I have a couple of my signed comics, like X-Men 1992.
Okay, nice.
This is my favorite comic right here. This is where Superman got with a black woman and left Lois. Once the camera gets the zoom right. Come on, camera.
No problem. You're good, Akil. You're good, man. You're good. You win, Akil. Sure.
I don't win.
No, you don't. It's all good. You tried. You came out. You fought hard. That's what's important.
And obviously, my comic that I usually have myself is, since I'm a gentleman pervert, a nice, good, sensual bottle of Japanese whiskey that only costs you about $12 as you come to Okinawa, Japan.
Ship that to the dot, man. Ship that to the 6, all right? Yeah, I'm gonna need that.
Did I say that this is alcohol? No, this is
no.
Brown
that's maple syrup.
Brown maple syrup that's very, very loose.
It's a bottle of love. You know what I mean?
Marcus, you got any Spanish fly?
I heard a lot of other bottles get clickety-clacked in that little put up there.
You heard nothing. And also, of course, Pocky.
Okay, those are here.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. What's that?
Pocky is essentially a just like your regular average ass Japanese snack, which is like biscuit sticks covered in chocolate or different flavors on top of it.
Got like and different flavors.
I think this is chocolate mousse. I'm trying to learn Japanese, but it's not really working that well for me since I'm a forever busy individual. Mm-hmm. You can pretty much just check out my Instagram.com/JonesWithSoda to actually see all the stuff that I usually collected on there. I've recently got a Devilman figure that only cost me like $15 here. Speaking of which, here's the irony behind this. So, Spawn McFarlane toys and stuff?
Yeah, the Todd McFarlane.
Even though those are butt ugly and overly detailed, they still cost more than getting an average figure over here.
Well, that's his name, and it's American, right? So
yeah, it's American import and stuff. But once you see and
his name behind it,
trust me, once you see the figures and stuff that they actually just sell here on the fly, like it's absolutely nothing. Yeah, it almost feels like a goddamn crime that somebody's trying to upsell you this type of shit for no reason whatsoever. In fact, they should have been throwing it at you as soon as you got out the door itself.
Man, that's crazy. This whole industry of toy selling and stuff like that and toy flipping.
I haven't mentioned my hentai figures that I have too. So
I'm ready. Let's see one. Let's see two. Let's do it.
We're never gonna get to our music talk. This is gonna be a whole episode of hentai.
Man, this is good. We're good, man. This is the podcast.
I'm just gonna give people a pro tip on this too, because I already sent my stuff out to my family. Thankfully, spoiler, that stuff's wrapped up and it's just pretty much lost in boxes like Indiana Jones' first movie. Okay, cool. So
I feel like your dad's gonna open the box and then look at it and cry, like, "Where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong with this one?"
Nah, I just send him a back scratcher and he'll just forgive me for everything. Literally, that's what's going to happen. Anyway, so the figures that you need to that are going to be legit, you have to get this immediately, is Q-6. Those are basically the adult hentai figures that at minimum will probably cost you about $100 for it. I saw a bunch of them in Akihabara, and I saw a really good Morgan figure that was for $400, but oh my god, it's totally worth it. Okay. Yeah, the plastic modeling on them is very different. Yes, the clothes are removable. Yeah. It's you can have this on. They have it where it's on display, and you could basically show this on display, and with confidence say, and you can get laid by this. Is yes, I know this artist comic. I know the fetishes that they actually have on here. Yeah. It is pretty much an honor that an artist was able to have their stuff modeled just from a plastic company itself. Jeez. Anyway, come to my bedroom so we can fuck.
So, Akil, this is episode 103. What do we got? What do we talk about this episode, man?
We're going to be having a nice music discussion. We're going to give our top 5 albums of the year. We have Marcus join us for that. We're going to talk about
I forgot I talk about music.
Yes. We're also going to talk about the controversy about Julia Roberts as Harriet Tubman. A new trailer for Jordan Peele, a movie called Antebellum. Some Kanye West news. Apparently, he got album of the decade. We're going to discuss that. Yeah. And then lastly, we're going to talk about Robert Pattinson as Batman. Some new news just came out on that. So you guys ready to start with this music discussion?
Yeah, let's get into it, man.
All right, we're going to all give our personal top 5. We're going to start with the top 5 spot. Once we're done with that, we're going to talk about the worst albums of the year for us. So I'm going to let Marcus go first with his number 5.
All right. Okay. So my number 5 album, because I found notes right along time. It's surprisingly enough, after listening to a lot of rap albums, I would say Injury Reserve's debut album, which is basically Injury Reserve, is going to be on my top 5 because they've been coming out with like EPs and mixtapes here and there, and I wasn't really sure for how their records were going to be with their next record, because Drive It Like It's Stolen was a decent album, but it was kind of morose and a little bit like moody in a sense, which I sort of got, but I wasn't really my thing. But after listening to like this breakthrough album that they actually had, their first album, man, it blew me out the goddamn water. This is an impressive ass record coming from these guys because, like, first off, there are some really good features on here. Freddie Gibbs is Freddie Gibbs. Like, if you don't know who he is, then, man, you're kind of missing out on a really good artist. There's some really cheeky tracks on here, like Gravy and Biscuits, Jailbreak the Tesla, and one of my favorites on there, which you can actually watch a literal live stream in an art house where, like, a bunch of people are sitting on the bleachers and listening to the rap song, where they're kind of nodding their heads. It's like how to make a rap song. And also, fun fact, the artists, they're all the way up in the background while they're kind of like sitting and listening to it while everybody's reacting to it. So it's a really cool like surreal thing to watch. People all universally of all race and color just like enjoying that album.
Okay, I'm gonna check that one out. Akil, what do you got? What's your number 5?
My number 5, I'm biased. I'm giving it to DaBaby with Kirk. I think it's a fun album. It's not deep. His whole vibe to me reminds me of like Busta Rhymes, early 90s, having fun, good energy. This is a good workout album. It's nothing that's too deep. If you like the song Suge, you're in for a treat because the whole damn album sounds like Suge. So if you can vibe with that, you can vibe with this album. A couple standout tracks are Bop, Gospel with Chance the Rapper, because Chance actually did a better job on that song than he did on his entire album.
More on that later.
Yeah.
The intro for Kirk is actually pretty dope. They've been playing
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, the intro's great on that.
In North Carolina. So that's my number 5 spot. I think he put forward a good effort. There's still room for improvement with his following projects, but I can see him going in the good direction.
I could see him being around for a very long time, man. He found his flow, he found his style, and he's winning.
And he's having fun. He's not grumpy and moody. He's enjoying rap. He's making creative music videos. People aren't doing that no more. So
he's saying a little something. He's saying a little something in his raps too. He's not just saying pure foolishness.
Every once in a while.
Yeah.
Quick question. He debuted from the class of 2019, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that is interesting, seeing how like his album was a little bit more stand out than everybody. But then again, that's like XSL's, how their mode is always all the fucking time.
But he's been active in Charlotte, North Carolina for years. I want to say like a solid 7 years he's been active, but he just finally got his shine. So I salute it. I'm happy for him. I love seeing rappers having fun and not being like, man, this shit's whack. I'm gonna pop this pill. I'm gonna pop that pill.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing that. He's just a dude that's having fun. He's enjoying the craft of rapping, and he's making enjoyable videos. So what's there not to love? That's my number 5.
Yeah. My number 5 is a surprise, maybe, for you guys. I bet you couldn't even guess it. I got to give it up to Jim Jones with El Capo. That came out in May. He actually put together, I'm not going to say he wrote everything. He Kanye West this thing probably, but he put together a very great album, in my opinion. It got a track called Pity in the Summer and the next track called Cocaine Dreaming. Both of those are standout tracks for me on that album. He got Rain on there, an artist from the Bronx who is phenomenal, and he should have got his shot a long time ago, man. But very talented cat, and this album was put together very well. This is one of Jim Jones's best albums. He's been underrated for music wise for a very long time, since he's been the background guy from Cameron for years and years. But he's actually putting it together, and he's putting together a very good project. So that's my number 5.
I need to actually listen to the album because I think like you're like the second or third person that told me about that record, which I need to actually sit down and listen to. Because
yeah, it's a good vibe.
I still got like a top 50 list I need to like knock out, so a few more was not going to hurt.
Yeah, and I got to give an honorable mention to Dave East's new album. That's pretty good. It's Survival. He's telling his story. You know, like he's not doing no gimmicky bullshit. He's really like in rap. It's like, this is who I am in my music, you know, and he's really doing that in this track. It's not breaking any grounds or like growing the music or anything like that. That's why I'm just giving it an honorable mention. But it's a nice little listen. You might skip through a couple tracks, but this is like, if you want to know who the hell is this Dave East guy and you never really heard his music, this is probably his best album to actually know who he is. And he's Nas's first big artist that is actually successful. You know what I mean? So Nas is backing him 100%. So yeah, that's an honorable mention for me.
Can I give an honorable mention? I'm gonna give one to West Side Gun. I'm gonna give one to him.
Boom, boom, boom! Of course.
Hitler wears what's it called? Hermes.
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 Yeah,
okay. Hermes. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I don't think it's like better than his previous work, but
it's honorable for me too. It's on my list.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's a nice listen. They know how to make a nice vibe. You know what I mean? Like.
Yep.
Yeah, since we're doing one more honorable, then I'll just throw one in there. So A$AP Rock, not A$AP Rocky, A$AP Rock, original Def Jux guy did a collaboration with this dude named Tobacco. And those who don't know who Tobacco is, he's this kind of like interesting electronic artist that is intentionally abusing sound in order to like get a different sound from it. He also is like sort of the frontman from Black Mob Super Rainbow. He's an electronic artist that is not necessarily noise, but something that you could easily hear from Adult Swim at late at night when their music comes on.
So he's the Joe Jackson of sound. He's abusing the shit out of it.
Not going to touch that, but so
that's a yes.
So in a sense, what he's doing, so he collaborates with him and A$AP Rock and Tobacco come together and come out with an group called Malibu Kin. And what you get from it is the sound from Tobacco with his abuse of sound, and at the same time with his really good rhymes from like the most lyrically intelligent lyricist that is A$AP Rock come together to make this really weird but really fun record. I think the highlight of a track that I love to listen to is he actually raps of an incident that happened in Philadelphia where apparently like the National Geographic did a thing where like they had like they videotape a bird's nest, like eagles nesting, so it can show like what nature is. And then one day apparently like people turned on the feed and saw the eagles eating on a dead cat, which was fucking hysterical. And he's actually rhyming over that. And there's a funny line on it. I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a funny line on there that kind of just makes me laugh every time I think about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to check that out.
My turn. My number 4 spot is Tyler, the Creator with Igor.
Nice.
I've been seeing a lot of growth in him as an artist. When he first came out, I kind of thought he was gimmicky. He was doing that whole satanic thing to build that Caucasian fan base.
Yeah.
And I felt like after he evolved from that with Flower Boy, that album to me was an evolution, and this is a continuation of that.
I gotta go. I'm gonna go now because that's also my number 4. I don't even like Tyler, the Creator. I didn't like him before, but this album was phenomenal. And it completely made me do a 180 on this guy. I love Tyler, the Creator now. I went backlogged and listened back to his other shit. I was like, this kid had some, huh? But, yo, he's a talented guy, man. He's like an evolution of Pharrell, and a good mix of Pharrell and Kanye West takes a bit of those. A little bit of 50 Cent's flow. I hear a little hint of 50 in his raps, but he's really good. And then he just takes his own route. You know what I mean? Like,
and he produces his music too.
Yeah, man, he got a nice little 80s, like his singing style that he's using is like that old school 80s, like Belle Biv DeVoe, you know, when they're little kids style, you know, like Mr. Telephone Man and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like it has that vibe to it. Like yeah, what's that song called? But yeah, he's definitely got it. That album's phenomenal. Earthquake. Yeah, you make my earthquake. Like the vibe of it. don't leave. Like that whole gives me that feel of that old school style. And the dude who was singing on that, I can't remember his name right now in the background, who used to work with Kanye. He still does sometimes, that R&B singer. But
Frank Ocean?
No. He's older. He's an older guy.
Oh, Charlie Wilson.
Charlie Wilson. Yeah, man.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that album has some real nice soul to it, man. It's a phenomenal album.
I like New Magic Wand, Boy is a Gun, Puppet. They all kind of have like a message behind it. I need Tyler to come out the closet, man. All these subliminal messages.
Come out the closet? He came out the closet. What are you talking about?
Did he?
Yeah, since Flower Boy.
Yeah.
The thing about Flower Boy, it was like when they talked about Garden Shed, he released Garden Shed. That big thing behind that was like him revealing that he was bi. Like that was like
it as a joke, and then he just plays with it throughout all his albums. I'm like, that's a dang joke, man. That's a lifestyle.
Not
right
that.
there.
Fuck your brother.
Not that track.
That's what he was saying in some shit. I was like, what the fuck? All right, man, live your truth.
Hey.
Standout track for that in that album is Gone Gone Thank You. It's one of the last tracks. That's phenomenal. And Running Out of Time, phenomenal. Like this whole album I could listen to front to back.
Yeah, I just listened to it.
Yeah.
Tyler
I just listened to it again.
Oh yeah.
The second time listening to it, it's a great album. It is really an honest to God great album. The best way I can describe it for people that are unsure about it, it's like imagine if so Flower Boy was basically a better version of Cherry Bomb. So think of all the good notes of Flower Boy and now him incorporating that in this new project that he's working on, and you're not going to be disappointed on it.
Okay.
Let's see, number 4.
So what's your number 4?
Okay, so this one is going to be very interesting. So number 4, have you ever heard the band called Clipping?
I thought we're on number 3. I thought number 4.
No. You did your number 4, which was Tyler, and my number 4 was Tyler also.
Oh, okay.
And
so
then now Marcus is doing his number 4.
Gotcha,
and then we're gonna go number 3. Yeah, sorry, Marcus, go ahead.
So you've seen that movie Blind Spotting, right?
Yeah.
Shit, yeah, a long time ago.
Okay, so the black actor on there, he's a rapper. If you don't know before, he is collaborating with a electronic noise group, and they formed a group called Clipping. And boy, when I tell you like this dude's rhymes are fucking fast, I mean it's like Sonic the Hedgehog speed run type fucking fast, because the way dead serious, the way he goes into some of these rhymes, every like album he comes out with, it's an introduction of it, and he's going by super fast. You have to listen to it like twice to make sure like, okay, did I just hear all that shit he just busted rhymes on?
Yeah.
So a new one comes out called what's it called again? There Existed an Addiction to Blood, which basically is more like a Halloween type of album that you should listen to.
What kind of name is that?
You'll find out when you listen to it, because everything about it kind of like a really horror theme element to this album, where like the song Nothing Is Safe has like this John Carpenter tribute to it. There is this really amazing track where like he is running away from the psycho killer, but the beats are just the noise outside in the streets. Like there's literally a car that drives by, and he uses that as a beat itself. There are moments in here that basically have just creepy, just like noise inducing uncomfortable feeling that you actually have listening to this, but everything is worked so well in the production that it's just so goddamn ridiculous that it's this damn good. Blood in the Fang, which is like this really great like counterpoint Black Panther anthem, was just like saying, look, we did peace, fuck this, let's bring our guns out and just show them who's the real tough guys in the situation, is him going into this. It's an amazing album. Like I will definitely, this is a great, in a sense, holiday album, since it's like in Halloween. Yeah. But it's so separated from it that you can easily say, all right, listen to it on its own. Don't listen to the last part of the album though. It's literally like 18 minutes of a piano burning.
What the hell is that? What does that even mean? Where do you find this shit, Marcus? Just go digging in the crate like, that's the one. Piano Burn. That's the album I'm about to get. So it has like a spooky theme, kind of like Kids See Ghosts, like what Kanye did with Cudi, but a way better version of that. It sounds like to me.
If Kids See Ghosts is basically what art house horror is, like this is more or less on slasher horror, even though it doesn't consider itself slasher horror.
Gotcha, like Jason, Freddy type of horror.
I could say that.
Kids See Ghosts is more like The Shining.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, that's an easy comparison.
So is it David Diggs, that actor, the guy who played Colin? Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just want to put a name on him.
I seen him on Sesame Street. I think he was rapping on there too. He's everywhere. He's on Blackish.
Oh shit.
He is? Holy shit.
Yeah, he plays Rainbow's brother.
Not to get on a tangent, but how many fucking like spin-offs is that show?
Blackish, Grownish, Mixish. I don't know.
They cashing out.
Where else they could do, maybe they can make one of the kids gay, have gayish. And just keep spinning off, man. Oldish. Somebody gets oldish.
That sounds like gayish is the probably more appropriate word title of the show. You should probably call that
gayish. A Blackish spinoff. So yeah, that shit could go many routes. My number 3, I'm kind of cheating here because it's not really rap, but he raps sometimes.
Okay. I'm
going with Anderson .Paak, Ventura.
Okay, nice. Why not?
It's one of my favorite albums of the year. The intro, "Come Home" with Andre 3000, is my favorite song of the year.
Wow, I gotta give this guy a chance.
The guitar solo is amazing. The Andre comes in and finishes because Anderson, he hits you with those smooth like 70s vibes, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna hit you with this air guitar. I'm gonna change your life with this air guitar. And once you start vibing with that air guitar, oh shit, is that Andre 3000 about to jump in? Yes, it is.
Fire.
Amazing.
I gotta check that album out.
Have you guys heard it? I'll play you a little snippet.
Nah, I haven't heard it.
I've heard it.
You've heard it? Nice. Yeah, it sounds nice. Don't want to get copywritten. You too.
Yes. So that's one of my I didn't play long enough. That's like
no worries.
Yeah. So that's my intro song of the year. That shit was fire.
Nice. Okay. All this stuff I'm gonna put on my title list and listen to that.
To that. A couple other standout tracks on that album are a song called King James. It's like the story of LeBron James.
Okay.
That Winter Circle is a dope song. Make It Better is like an old school track. He even throws Smokey Robinson on there. Yada Yada is a dope track. It's a nice little vibe to it.
Okay, yeah, Make It Better was amazing.
Towards the end of the album, like song 9, 10, and 11, so you could stop listening to the album around track 8. But there's 11 tracks total.
Okay.
So 3 out of what would that be? 8 out of 11. That's not too bad.
No, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. So what you got, Marcus? You want to go now?
No, I can let you go because, I'm going to talk my ass off.
I got YBN Cordae, The Lost Boy.
Nice.
This album surprised me, man. I thought this kid was just another one of them, dye his hair purple, talk some crap about doing drugs. But I listened to an interview of his. I was like, this kid got his head on his shoulders. Listen to the album. Jeez, he sounds like a young J. Cole, in the making. Like he's got a future. So, yeah, I enjoyed his album a lot. I got to give him a spot, and I got to give, I don't know. Since that wasn't on R&B, I got to put Sir in there, because Sir's Chasing Summer was my favorite album of this entire year. I got to put that, on the highest level.
Really? I liked his previous project more. No, I think it was
I enjoyed those two. I enjoyed those two, but this was just phenomenal, man. That album was phenomenal. So I got to put that in the place of YMB. But YMB is an honorable mention. Chasing Summer, though, Jesus, that is the best album I heard this year.
I liked Hair Down. That's my favorite track, but the rest of the album, I'm not sure.
Hair Down, I love Hair Down, but that's the worst song on the album to me.
Really?
I skip that to listen to the other tracks first, and then I go back and listen to Hair Down. But Hair Down's a phenomenal song. I'm just saying, album's that much better to me.
I would again. I'd probably say Sears Chasing Summer is there's this reoccurring thing I always have on my show itself is that there are some songs that are basically like music to fuck to. Mm-hmm. This whole album, I would probably say, yeah, you can make a kid from this album.
Absolutely.
Okay, pregnancies. All right. I'm down with that.
Hey man,
Yeah.
like, I got a funny story for you with that. So, so I was at, it was like literally a decade ago where I was at working at a game store, and it was that Maxwell song where it's the one he does a high pitched one on. It's like
that's every song. Is it Woman's Work?
Yeah, Woman's Work.
Yeah. I know my Max.
And I was like, and then like, then when a coworker heard this song, he was like, "Oh man, this song is great." And I rolled my eyes because I listened to this song. If you listen to the radio station, R&B radio stations all the time driving to work, you probably heard this 400 fucking times. Mm-hmm. So I rolled my eyes inside, and I was like, "Ugh, okay, this fucking song." He immediately turned to me. He's like, "Motherfucker, I had a kid with this fucking song, and so you better not disrespect me." It's like, okay.
My wife sucked my dick to this song.
I thought about Maxwell during this song.
I'll be like, TMI. Whatever, bro. You don't know my life.
But yeah, on this, Sir got a song called John Redcorn.
Okay, yeah, I heard that one.
The whole song is about being that side dude, you know, and he's just like, he just wants to love and have a relationship with the girl and see his kid, but he can't. He got to play like he don't know nobody. The whole song is based off John Redcorn from King of the Hill. So
damn right.
He just took that little concept and he made like a deep, well-textured track with heart, man. And I first heard that, I was like, what the hell? This is a heartbreaking song. And then you come to realize, Google the name, fucking Redcorn. You know what I mean?
Yo, side dudes need love too, man.
Great.
John Redcorn doesn't have a relationship with his son or nothing, bro.
Yeah, it's phenomenal writing. When you could do something, you could take a concept that's supposed to be a funny thing in a show and make it something that is, you can make it truly a heartbreaking story in a song. That's incredible writing. I got to give Touchdown a shout out. That's a phenomenal song. Mood is a phenomenal song. Listen to that. And you're in Japan right now. You'll probably understand what the hell the girl's saying at the beginning before she says, maybe I'll just call my other dude. But yeah, listen to Mood. And You Can't Save Me is probably my favorite song on the album.
I can't wait for Sir to make a song about Quagmire. That shit might make me cry. Out here sexing, but you're empty inside. That shit gonna be real, son.
Yeah, man. No, Sir's he got album of the year for me. That's my personal album of the year.
Right. So for me, I'll probably so my number 3 pick is, so even though I've been in Atlanta for like 17 years, I'm originally from Panama City, Florida itself. But with that being said, and my dad's been in Fort Lauderdale too, and lived there for a long period of time. So when I heard Denzel Curry's Zoo, like the first time I heard this, I was like, fuck, okay, this sound. When I heard Ricky for the first time, I was like, God damn, this sounds like he like went in a studio in Florida, the studio that always gets frequently gunshotted almost all the time, and start rapping like crazy. And then when he started playing some more shit, like it was like, fuck, this is an amazing record. And this, and even though I've never been there,
you guys are stealing my fucking homework. Y'all stealing my notes. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Like this record is like fun to listen to. Yeah. Like it basically screams of you. Like by the time you finish listening to this record, all of a sudden you're gonna have like a Miami U jersey on you for no fucking reason. It's just gonna be there because it's so fucking South Florida.
Yo, this is on my list too, man. Sorry, go ahead if I'm cutting you off. I'm just excited.
Also with that being said, the turnaround from what he did with Taboo to this kind of just shows you exactly how insanely diverse he is. Because last year he had a really great record, and it was like really experimental and just going out there in different ways. Then he pretty much pulls like, I presume, what Kendrick Lamar did when it comes to like Damn and To Pimp a Butterfly, where he just goes straight back to the rap songs and just knocks it out the park, showing that like, yeah, I can be introspective, but let me get to my real shit that me and my homies love to actually play almost all the fucking time. Yeah. And he does it. It's a great fucking record, and that's one of those things I'm kind of like on my top 50. I'm contemplating. I'm like, man, this feels like it's going to be like in the 10s. If anything, it's going to be under the 5s.
Yeah, this guy, he's definitely on my list. This is also my number 3. He, like when he had the Black paint on his face and all that stuff. At first, I was like, who the hell is this guy? It caught my attention, and I gave his album a listen. I was like, it's pretty good. It's cool. Last year. This one, though, I was listening to the intro, the first track. Ricky stood out phenomenally. And I was like, this is a diverse artist, man. He just had that energy in this whole album. Like, I was listening to it at the gym, listening to it in the car, listening to it while I was at work in the background. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, I could listen to this everywhere, and it's a good time. And it has a good feel. Like, it has that Miami feel. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to drive on the highway, you know, and in the 305 and just drive around, hit the beach and listen to this music. This guy knocked it out the park. This is one of my favorite albums of the year, for sure. Got to give this my top, and number 3 also.
Moving on to number 2. All right. I guess I'll go first. My number 2 is Rhapsody with the album Eve. Mm-hmm. I like the theme of the album is Eve being the first woman, and the theme for each track is a different woman in history that's been influential to her. So she has Nina for Nina Simone, Cleo for, it could either be Cleopatra or Cleo from Set It Off, Aaliyah, Oprah, Whoopi, Serena, Tyra. Pretty much this is a very heavy lyrical album. If you're not ready for that, them hard lyrical, it's not too lyrical miracle, but it's good content that actually has some substance that's going to stick with you. A standout track to me is Aaliyah. She samples, I'm not sure what Aaliyah track that is. I'm usually better at this. But she samples an Aaliyah track, and she's relating how Aaliyah has influenced her life and her life as a teen while listening to Aaliyah music. Tyra's a dope track. Sojourner with J. Cole, that's a standout track for me as well. She has Sir and J.I.D. on the track, Kayaman. Very dope album. Elle Varner. Yeah. It's good to see Elle Varner again. She's on the track of Michelle, which is a note to Michelle Obama. So very dope album. Check it out.
Yeah.
She's a North Carolina native. To me, it's one of the best rap albums of the year. And she should have got nominated for a Grammy.
She's above that, man. This album's way more phenomenal than any Grammy they could give her. Yeah. This is also in my top 5. I gotta give it up to her, man. This album is like, you could tell she used to do poetry before, and then she learned how to rap after. Because like her style is very well textured and layered with her verses and stuff like that. Like what she's saying is dope. Her punchlines are hard. She's a rapper's rapper, man. Like, and we need more. You can't even say she's a good like female rapper. She's
just a good rapper.
Yeah, man. Like she's rapping circles around a lot of these dudes that are around nowadays. This album is phenomenal. The concept is great. And I love the way that she's not going over deep with the whole concept of the album. She's dropping tracks and she's showing that she knows how to make good like dance songs, but still have textured, dope lyrics in it. And she's doing conscious songs at the same time. She's not trying to be too deep. She's showing that she can have fun too, and she's showing a lot more dimension to her artistry. So this is probably one of my, this is damn near number 1 for me. This and Sir are my top albums. Sir's number 1, but this is number 2. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I got a little excited, and I shot my little quick for Sir. Yeah, that's my number 1. But this is my number 2, though. Go ahead, Marcus.
Yeah, it's hard to basically describe this album when it's that solid of a record. Like everything about it is just it's like. It's hard when trying to analyze music. It's really hard to basically say like, no, this is just a great solid record with a great good ass artist that's been consistent on her records, and not to mention her rhymes and her skills. Yeah. What really more can you basically say than just like listen to this album itself? And that kind of sucks because I need to be more diverse in this. But yeah, it's a solid ass record. I can go buy this and say like, yeah, definitely check this out if you want something wordy, poetic, and just so empowering for like women too. Like, bam, here you go, Eve, Rhapsody with Eve. That's all you need to know.
Can I divert for a second? How'd you guys feel about the Dreamville project that came out? Because I'm seeing it getting a lot of Grammy nods, and I'm not sure if I was in love with that album.
That was an album that I just didn't even. I listened to it and I didn't like it very much. Like I didn't gravitate towards it, and I heard everybody saying it's great, and I just felt like I was like, you know, when everybody's like those movies when everybody's brainwashed, and you're like, am I not seeing something? Like, or everybody's drinking the Kool-Aid. That's how I felt. Like I was like, this album's all right, but it seemed too messy. Like it didn't seem like it was very like it felt like they didn't do it all in the same studio, even though they all were doing it in the same studio. Do you get what I mean? Like,
yeah, sonically is all over the place. That's how.
Yeah, like I was like, what's the concept you guys are going for in this track? And then that didn't translate to me when I was listening to it.
So the one downfall about Kendrick Lamar is that anybody that's a J. Cole fan was comparing him to Kendrick Lamar, and that's insanely unfair, especially when To Pimp a Butterfly came out. So
yeah, you're right. I'm a Kendrick guy.
I'm gonna get to the point when I say this. So when you heard KOD, you were trying to expect something just like To Pimp a Butterfly or something from there, because like people hype J. Cole up to a point where like, oh, he's on the same level as him, and so I'm expecting that, and because of that, I'm kind of a little bit mildly disappointed in some of the stuff that everybody promised to this. Yeah. So with him coming out with the Dreamville record, and this is probably like J. Cole's label, it's like, well, I wasn't really expecting much on here other than like something that feels a little bit overhyped. What I end up getting from it is like, Jid is still a great fucking rapper, bar none. Overall, if you never heard of Earth Gang, you heard of Earth Gang before. Yep. And other than that, like everybody, now I'm just kind of waiting to see what Cole's next album is. Dreamville is kind of cool because he's showing off like the rappers on his label, but it's like I think they're already good enough that they don't necessarily need to actually have a compilation album.
Well, he's also spotlighting people like Ari Lennox as well, who some people that listen to rap may not be familiar with. She has a track, Shea Butter, that was to me, I thought was a great track with her and J. Cole that I believe came out last year. No, came out this year, 2019. That's a pretty dope track. But
yeah, her album.
I see what you're saying.
She has one of the best soul albums of the year, in my opinion. She's got a track on an album called Static, which is phenomenal. I think everybody should go listen to that one. Got a nice jazz vibe to it.
I gotta listen to Summer Walker. I didn't get to listen to her album yet.
It's nostalgic sounding. It feels like an old school R&B album.
And then I also got
in my opinion, her singing's not that good, but her artistry and writing is amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then I gotta check out Tory Lane's project, which I'm kind of afraid. I feel like people get blinded by nostalgia and they hear a song that they like from the 90s.
Yeah.
And they're already vibing to that. And then he's like, let me capitalize on that shit, put a little spin on that.
Well, he the thing with his album is he flips it so well that it sounds just as good, if not close to as good as those tracks. And that's a hard thing to pull off.
Marcus' face is like,
no, listen to the album, because what he does with the production is he actually gets the artist. So the artist got to okay these songs. Like they're not just like, yeah, he flipped my track, whatever. Like Luda on that album, phenomenal. Like that song's phenomenal. Yeah, he's flipping these songs and he's doing them justice. Like he's not just flipping them and putting like, yeah, do some jiggy dance, like doing some stupid shit like that. He does a lot of the tracks justice. So I would recommend definitely listening to that Tory album.
All right.
Yeah, give it a chance. Marcus, what's your thoughts on Tory? You don't like the T-Dot man, them? Huh?
No.
You're shaking your head, eh?
It's fine. I'm frantically looking at throughout most of this artists that you put on here to say like, did I remember listening to half of these people on here? Yeah, because when it's November and everybody's making an end of the year list, guess what? You're gonna be re-listening to like 60 to 70 albums to make sure that's like, fuck, where did I exactly put this? And so you're hearing fucking Tory Lanez and Summer Walker coming out. I was like, oh god, I haven't even listened to those, and I still haven't become a fucking analyst of it.
That's why I like doing this type of podcast, because we can listen back to this, and then I'm gonna write down the songs that you said, and I'm gonna search them and give those a listen to the ones that I haven't heard yet this year that passed me by, because I love music. So that's why I love doing this one.
So with that being said, speaking of I'm going to number 2 selection. I presume if your listeners already know this artist on here, or earlier on, last year, Quelle Chris and Jean Grey came out with an album called Everything Is Fine. It was a really great collaboration with two of these artists that basically kind of do this like poetic thing of like depression and sadness, and you kind of have like that response of everything is fine, and they kind of go more into it with that. So with that, you then have Quelle Chris coming out with another record in his discography, which is Guns. And what's so interesting about that, and Quelle Chris is this really interesting like rapper that, one, he has like an interesting voice to it, and not to mention his beats on here are pretty like a little bit out there, but kind of follow the narrative on if you've listened to his other albums before. Yeah. But what's so great about this record is like he analyzes all this. He kind of looks into the shit of like what gun violence, the impact of gun violence has done as a whole in his, not only his community, but like in the whole part of America. Sure. And what's kind of cheeky about it too is like he in the sense of like, yeah, he's playful, but it's almost like a dark sort of humor to it. Yeah. Because throughout the whole album, he's literally like saying, he has where like people saying one word of Trump's like thing of, I could shoot somebody in 57th Street and I would still be voted in, throughout the whole record. After the title track Guns, there's like this song where basically he's playing a beat and you can, and this is kind of like fucked up, but it's like he basically goes like saying walking while black, driving while black, shopping while black. Yeah. And it's like, oh, you kind of know where, based upon what the title track of this is and what the fucking album is, it's like, wow, that is like a simple way of talking about police brutality in one fucking record. Yeah. It's a great record. The beats on here, like I said, are just fantastic. The fact it's on my number 2, this could have been on my number 1, but there's like another one that just knocks out of the park. But rest assured, this is a record I recommend everybody to listen to because it's so well done. It is so well done of a record. Dope.
Since I shot my load, I'm gonna give out some honorable mentions, albums that I that I've messed with. I'm trying not to swear. That I messed with and that I liked, that I gotta just give a shout out to, like Drake Care Package, where he took all those tracks that he's been putting out when he was trying to become a bigger artist and get signed, that people were rocking with in the city for a long time. He put that out and had the one with J. Cole, which is phenomenal. That track is amazing still. He dropped the ball on his concert, where I was hoping he was going to do his concert with these tracks and just have the whole city rocking with those old tracks mixed with his new ones. But I don't know, man. He has a song with Rick Ross, Tap My Name on You. And Rick Ross,
that was a hit in college, bro.
And Rick Ross came out and they didn't perform that song. Everybody was like saying, tap my name, like do that track. And Rick Ross just struggled to perform that one track they did, and then he was like, need some cardio, and he just going off stage. I was like, go ahead, Marcus, what you got to say, man? How you feeling?
Well, first off, wasn't that same album? I've heard the Fantana review because I wasn't really a huge fan of Drake, but then I kind of laughed because apparently there's like this. He mentioned like there's like this weird retarded joke or line that he ended up making with J. Cole, which is like even today that's still not cool.
On the track, they muted it. J. Cole's verse, he's saying it, and everything's like, regarded, I'm regarded, get slotted, you motherfucker must be, and then the beat, the rap comes back in after. They just completely like went in there and we'll just take that out of there, like Disney taking out all those racist movies from their app. You know what I mean? Like,
what if they just did a quick disclosure, like right before the song starts, and then leave it in there? Yeah?
I don't know. I'm seeing people rapping it, in the clubs, and they're still saying the words. So, hey. But no, it's a phenomenal track. The album's great. It's good to finally have that on a streaming service, not have to ski mask it. You know what I mean? Just to have it here and all in one condensed spot of all of his tracks.
Could we take back names and words? Because the R word, I never use that towards special needs people. I put that towards stupid motherfuckers. Could we change the definition of the R word? Because we change words all the time. Like,
that's not for us to decide. Can
I get society behind me to help change words? Like the C word. That used to be the holster for a sword, and then we started using it derogatory towards women. It's like somebody one day is like, "You're a CUNT."
Yeah,
somebody just took that and made it a derogatory word. Could we take the R word and make it?
People are still making things derogatory. Like he looks guilty. When they're talking about a black guy, like he just looks guilty. You know what I mean? Like That's pretty racist too, right? That's just as bad as saying let's
say the word like a thumbs up means something completely different 10 years from now. Yeah, and we're doing that. They're like, yo, man, no disrespect to the LGBT community. I ain't know that, thumbs up meant that, you were down to kill, and I ain't with all that. So I apologize for the thumbs up I did 10 years ago.
No, I hear you.
For you, it's a little too early, and for me, it's a little too late to basically explain to white people that are not black why things are offensive. So I'm just gonna move on to something different. Honorable mentions to me: IDK, Is He Real, which is kind of a loose interpretation of him talking about God. Danny Brown, You Know What I'm Saying, which was pretty good. It's not as bad as not as good as Atrocity Exhibition, but it's whatever. Benny the Butcher, the plugs I met, which are it's good. Like Benny the Butcher,
man. They know how to make that vibe.
Good Lord, they've been making a lot of fucking records this year too.
It's too much though. I kind of feel like it's too much. They gotta like have a couple and just keep pushing those. Get people familiar. By the time I'm getting familiar to one thing, they got like another like 30 songs. It's like, come on, guys.
Okay, and I guess my last one, which again, since you guys didn't do like we're kind of cheating on here, I'll put my R&B on here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Daniel Cesar with Case Study Case 1,
nice.
Which is
East End Zone.
Yeah, the thing is, what I like about it is like he's getting away from that R&B feel. Like he's still with it, but he's sort of being a little bit more experimental on it. Mm-hmm. And him using that opportunity to like use this record as that, it's a good step forward. Then kind of come up with the same song he had on there, which is I forgot what the thing he did with her, but I know that's pretty much the proposal song of this generation.
that song's phenomenal. Let me get the name for you.
I
got one honorable mention I forgot to add.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not even the album, it's just a song. I'm gonna give an honorable mention to Zach Fox with Jesus Is the One. I Got Depression.
Okay.
Produced by Kenny Beats.
Zach Fox?
Yep, he's a comedian. The song went viral. I could play a quick snippet, but I ain't gonna play all of it.
Hey, bitch, you better praise God.
Oh, God, this one?
I ain't believe I'm a Lord and Savior. I'm on my job. If you ain't a Christian, I'm going to stab you in the face. If it ain't about Jesus, I'm going to hit you with this cane.
Honorable mention.
Fair enough. That's what you feel. So you feel right now? All right.
It's a vibe right now. It's a vibe.
Whatever.
Some stripping. It's a vibe. Oh, it's a vibe.
So any other you guys did your number ones?
I got my number one locked and loaded. I think mine might be the same as Marcus, so I'm gonna let you go first.
Me or
okay. I already said mine.
Oh, so okay. Freddie Gibbs, Bandanda's my number one album. I love seeing the growth of him as an artist. His wordplay has been growing. The production is amazing. I don't hit skip at all on this entire album. I could go to the gym, hit track number 1, and just play it all the way through and have a full workout, and I'm good. You can't do that with a lot of albums. A lot of albums, you're like, oh man, I know that track's whack. Oh, let me skip that. Every track on this album is good.
I gotta listen. I heard this and I forgot about this album completely. I just saved it. I gotta listen back to that again.
He hit you with 15 dope tracks, all produced by how you say that man's name? Madlibs?
Yeah, Madlibs.
Madlibs, yeah. Madlibs did a phenomenal job. Crime Pays is dope. He gives you that 80s Miami Vice vibe. Flat Tummy Tea. You think he's gonna be talking about like, video vixens drinking tea, but he just squeezes that line in there, and then the track will change at the end of the track. He's like, oh, you thought I was talking about this? Let me hit you with something else. That's it reminds me similar to what Justin Timberlake was doing with that album with Timberland, 2020, where he'll start one song and then he'll transition to another song at the end. Freddie Gibbs does that a lot in this album.
Okay.
And the flow for it is so seamless as he's like transitioning from song to song.
Okay.
Situations is a dope track where he's talking about growing up and seeing his like uncle was like a dope fiend, and he was at the arcade playing Pac-Man. That shit was dope. It's a song with Anderson .Paak that's pretty good. Cataracts, he's talking about, smoking weed so he doesn't have cataracts, but he also talks about he also talks about other life problems in his life and why he's smoking weed. It's a very personal album. Like, he talks about he was getting arrested while Obama was getting elected. So he's like, I'm happy for Obama, but I'm getting arrested right now. This is a fucked up situation.
Okay.
I love it.
I gotta get back to that one. I just saved that one on the list also.
10 out of 10 for me. My favorite.
Nice.
To add on top of that too, what makes it so interesting about this also is that Madlib is one of those he's a Stone Store record guy, and what I mean by that is he's one of those people that will go inside the crates and find a sound you won't even expect it being on there, but he'll find a way to actually make it into a kick-ass beat. There's a YouTuber, I forgot what their name was, that what they do is that they look at all the rappers or hip hop albums and try and find where all those beats and stuff are coming from, come from, and looking at those videos when it comes to Madlib stuff is fucking amazing, because it is holy fuck, I didn't even think you would actually get it from there, but sure enough, you got it from there. And let's be honest, we're not going to have another Mad Villain record anytime soon or ever at this point in time. Now it's pretty much I know it's going to be dated when I say this. It's pretty much like getting a Half-Life game. It's not going to fucking happen. Just get over it. So,
we're getting a new Half-Life game.
Yeah, but it's not 3 technically.
I know.
So even with that said, you still got Madlib coming together and just putting out these amazing sounds with Freddie Gibbs, who is honestly got a kick-ass rapper through and through. Yeah. Just with this collaboration is amazing. It's not as good as Pinata. I'm just gonna say that right off the bat, because nothing can top Pinata. That shit is, 10 on 10. That's the perfect record, hip hop collaboration record. Anything closer to that, whatever. But what's so amazing more is that he used all the beats he did was he did it on iPad, which you could have fooled me if he was doing it on an iPad, because it sounds like he did this shit straight from the turntables, the 1s and 2s itself. Wow. Yeah, this album's fucking fantastic, and this was worth the wait, completely worth the wait altogether.
Akil, you good?
Yeah, 1 second. I was gonna do a share screen, but I think I'm gonna stop that.
Oh, okay. I'll give an honorable mention in the meantime. Then I got to give it up to New York's own Pop Smoke. Got a track called "Welcome to the Party." Shit is phenomenal. It's nice, dark, gives you that New York vibe, And he's talking about robberies and shit like that. But the album, the album's a good album. But he's got some great songs. He's like an evolution of. He's not evolution, but he's like a offspring of 50 Cent. His style is kind of like 50. He's got a song called PTSD also. That sounds like he just robbed 50's flow, but he's still an up and comer who's from Brooklyn, who's from New York, and he's doing his thing. I got to give that Pop Smoke. I got to give him a shout, man, because he definitely doing his thing. He ain't as good as everybody else I said, but I got to give him a shout because I could see him being around for a while if he keeps doing it right. If he doesn't get arrested like all them other Brooklyn boys, All
right, I got you guys want to transition into watching the trailer and then talk some more music? Take a quick break from music real quick.
Fuck it, why not?
All right, so I got the trailer for the new Jordan Peele movie called Antebellum, starring Janelle Monáe. So that's, a little music related. She's an actress and the singer. So
yeah,
boom. All right, so here's the trailer.
911. What is your emergency?
Is that a runaway slave? What's going on? Oh, hell yeah, it is. There's a rope.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord.
Hello.
I'm tired of these slave movies, man.
Hello.
Well, there's a plane.
What the fuck?
Watchmen?
Was it like slave catchers made it to the future?
She looks great.
Is anyone with you? Can you get to a safe
Yo, this is like Candyman with slave catchers.
Hmm.
Hello?
Okay, I figured it out. It's ghosts
All right.
that touch black people and send them back to the past and they're
All right.
slaves. Now that's a horror movie.
It looks interesting. I'm personally sick of these slave movies. I feel like it's just not doing nothing to move the cultures or anybody forward. It's like everybody's aware, they just don't care, you know? So they're just trying to make money off of evil shit that happened years and years ago. But this looks like they're making an interesting turn and spin on that whole concept. And hopefully he'll do something. His track record's been pretty great. So, you know, I'm going to give it a chance just off the strength of that.
I'm fine with it. Like, there's nothing where you can really like tell me that it's going to turn me off of not watching a Jordan Peele movie, because Get Out was great.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Us was also insanely great. Bonus points if you actually watch that movie premiere night in the Black Theater, because you just watched the comedy. And after after seeing this, is like, you didn't really need to show me the trailer. Just tell me when his next fucking movie is going to be coming out, and I'll be like there to watch it, because I have full trust in Jordan Peele to like make a really good movie. Is he pretty much a horror maker now, or is he just a thriller type of director?
I think it's a little bit of both, because Twilight Zone, he works on that, and that's more thriller than horror, and that's like thriller and suspense. Get Out to me was thriller and suspense with horror elements in it. So, and then Us was a horror movie. I guess Us was a horror movie.
It's a thriller. This is a thriller.
Thriller slasher, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah.
It had slasher moments in the film.
And honestly, like his comedy's like one of the weaker things that he does in his movies to me. Like his thriller, his mind-bending, thought-provoking stuff goes like miles ahead of his comedy in the movies. Don't you guys notice that? Like, I could see him doing a comedy, but he's killing it with the mind-twisting, thought-provoking stuff.
Yeah, a lot of people that do comedy usually have a dark mind. It's kind of like the yin to their yang. Because we see Chris Rock now. He's working on the reboot of the Saw series, and I'm actually excited to see what he's going to do with that.
Yeah.
I think what he's doing is like he's basically putting thrillers out that didn't have some comedy elements within it.
Yeah.
Because you can actually find comedy in a shitty situation.
Movie looks great. I don't need to see anything else from that. I'm definitely gonna check that out in theaters day one.
I have no clue what the fuck I just watched, but I'm still gonna watch it.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, moving on.
How'd you feel about the trailer? What's your thoughts?
I already told you. I think it's like white demon ghosts touching black people and sending them back to the past. You're like, oh, you got black girl magic and you live in the dream now? You ain't living the dream in 14 whatever. We're gonna say, no, not 14. But like, what year was 18? 1820. We're gonna put you back to 1820 and let you be a slave.
Okay.
What you just essentially described was basically a plot for Doctor Who that Jordan Peele thought, well, what if black people had to endure this? It's like, oh, okay, now that kind of just ruins the whole fucking film. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, Doctor Who, there's an episode, I forgot what it is, but it's these enemies that are basically statues, and what they essentially are is that if you blink, they will slowly start coming at you.
Yeah.
And if you blink again, they'll pretty much like send you back in time, and that's it. Like your death is technically natural, but either way, you're kind of like you're pretty much just dead overall.
Okay.
So I'll be sent back to slave times with an iPhone in my hand. So basically, you want to have a bulletproof vest and a couple guns on you. So when they send you back, you know, they're gonna have the musket, but you're gonna have that AK.
You go back buck naked, you're fucked.
Yep. If you go back Terminator 2 style,
yeah,
it's a wrap, baby. All that talk you see people on the internet, man. I don't know about my ancestors, but I would have did this, that, blah, blah, blah.
The hell
all
you
right.
would.
The hell you would, that ghost touch your ass and send you back. The 1800s. So moving on, we got some Kanye West news. Kanye wants to make a $14 million Wyoming ranch. He wants it to be a home for spiritual service with his Sunday service that he has. What are your guys' thoughts on this whole Sunday service that he's doing? You think it's just like propaganda? You think that he's really like having a spiritual awakening, or is it just a way to make money and get good with get back good with the African Americans due to his comment about slavery being a choice? Because we do love some white Jesus.
I'm gonna basically just like recuse myself from this one, because when we're gonna be doing the top 3 worst albums, I'll then say my spiel from there, because I already got a bunch of opinions to that shit.
I feel like Kanye is playing the game. He's playing a long game. I was watching the Disney creators like documentary they had, and I realized that Michael Jackson was doing what Walt Disney did, but Michael Jackson got persecuted as if he was touching kids. But what he wanted to do was the same thing that Walt Disney did. Kanye West, who rants and raves, and one of the things that he said while he was ranting and raving is, "I'm Walt Disney." I think he's trying to do what Walt Disney did now. I think he's, in his own way, trying to create his own Disney World in that area of the world, of the country. And he's not all the way, like, I don't know what his intent is. I don't know if he's just trying to get a tax break from religion or not, but we'll see in the long run. I think his long game is he's trying to create a place, a safe haven in his eyes for people to come and be, and it's going to maybe turn out to be a cult. We'll see. But I think his intentions are in the right place, but intent is the first step to sin. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens.
I think Kanye West is one hallelujah away from being Jim Jones. Having to drink the Kool-Aid.
It could go wrong. Go very wrong.
he got the youth on his side. He got those young kids who are just diehard Kanye fans. Like Kanye could fart into a microphone and they'd be like, "Yo, that's him getting out the oppression in his soul, all the evil and darkness. He's releasing it out of his ass. That's what he's trying to do." And they'll give that album of the year.
It's a smart move, though. What he's trying to do is a very smart move, but it's just he's so back and forth with his thoughts, so it's hard for people to back him when it's like, if he's the leader and he's saying one thing and then he's doing the other, it's hard for people to want to back that, as like older people. But I think he's honestly trying to get the white, black, religious people for votes in the future. He's trying to build land to create his own factories, his own warehouses, to create his own clothing, his own brands without Adidas.
Sweatshop.
Yep. Exactly. He's trying to. It could go very left. It might go very left. But he's shooting his shot, and I ain't gonna knock the hustle. Like, do your thing, Kanye. But he's not the only one we're dependent on for a sustainable future. So we'll see what happens. What's your thoughts, Marcus? How you feel?
Like I said, I'm gonna recuse myself from the opinion of it. But before I even say that, remember anybody saw that picture of Kim Kardashian like wearing that big ass suit with
put her in with the 80s, the 90s ball players?
Yeah. Okay. So basically, the best quote I got from that is basically, Kim Kardashian is dressed up like a fourth round NBA draft pick from the 2002 draft. Like that's all I can pretty much come from that. Yeah. So my opinion will come up when we get to the next segment on here.
Mm-hmm. Right, Akil, how do you feel? How do you feel about it? I don't think you said your thoughts on it.
I already told you he's one hallelujah away from being Jim Jones. I think that it's a front, because you could have you could build a big old building and then say that church service is held here and it's a tax break. A lot of people like Joel Osteen, they'll do that and they'll put Starbucks and they'll put all these things in that one building so they don't have to pay taxes on it.
Yep. Yeah. It's strategy. He's playing the game that they've been playing for years in America, man.
All I have to say is when the next crisis hits, I want him to be on the forefront to see if he's really sincere about this new spiritual awakening. It's always been there, but he's fully embracing it now.
But he's a hustler, man. He's a hustler.
He's a Chicago dude. Chicago always comes
pimping
first.
And hustling, man. Yeah, so it could go very left. And we're going to see. Time will tell with Kanye West and his intentions. Yeah.
Perfect transition. Oh, go ahead, Marcus. What's going on?
I just realized, like, man, the Boondocks has a new CD coming on HBO. He's just basically making canon fodder for those guys.
Yeah.
Is that still going to happen with John Witherspoon being dead now? Because I don't think he taped anything yet. You can't replace Granddad.
They might tribute him.
Yeah, they'll try to tribute him because that's an opportunity you just can't really miss out, especially if it's going to be on HBO and not on Adult Swim, where like you did have freedom, but you didn't really. But when you have HBO, it's like fuck it, you can do whatever the fuck you want to.
And
Just make us shows.
He's done a lot of voice work for the season already. They might close it out with a tribute to him. We'll see. But they can't just throw that work out. Like that's going to be held up.
No. I didn't know that he worked on it yet. That's the question I was asking. Like, I'm pretty sure he did. Did he even start working on it yet?
Yeah, I saw an interview where he was saying, yeah, we're pretty much working on that season and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's going to be great.
It's going to be weird moving forward, though, after that, without Granddad. Are we going to introduce a new character or get a new voice actor?
That's life, though, you know?
Paul Mooney as Granddad? That'd be kind of weird.
That'd be a little too much, honestly.
Yeah. Moving forward, so the decade is wrapping up, and Complex have listed their album of the decade, and they gave it to Kanye West's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy for album of the decade. What are your thoughts? How do you feel? Marcus first.
Honestly, look, everybody's entitled to their right of opinion and stuff, but the only reason I think that they chose that record itself is probably because there's a controversy behind it. Because, like, thinking about that is like, okay, he did some crazy shit. All right, who fucking cares? I think honestly, to me, and I'm kind of going back and forth on this too, because I am thinking about some albums of the decade. And I only started doing this shit since like 2014 or something on DT. I would probably have to say, like, for me, and I'm thinking about this right now, maybe Def Grip's Money Store, because it's something that really nobody's actually really heard before. And that's something, like, okay, you wanted to say the album is good. It's the album decade because of controversy and everybody talking about it. But what about fucking musical impact and influence on top of it? Mm-hmm. Like, to me, obviously, I'm not a huge Kanye fan. Like, right then and there, just pointing it out. So when I see them basically talk about that, it's just a whole bunch of nothing. They're just kind of just doing that because they either wanted to like be the front runners of like the hot take and opinion on there to start it off with, or B, like they really haven't like seen a lot of diverse music and stuff on here. Because I'm of the decade, didn't we just finish talking about fucking Pinata and how like absolutely like stunning and amazing that record is? And last time I checked, it came out like the past decade on here, and it blew everything out the water. Let's not. What about like any of the new shit that came out, or something that's more revolutionary, or kind of just changed the game on a lot of things? Like, let's even break this down to what video games are. If I would say what would be the video game of the decade in the 90s, it would be between The Legend of Zelda and Half-Life 1. Like those two itself, because of those games, they made a giant cultural impact on what was to come afterwards. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is like, all right, it's just like a talented artist kind of going to a different level, and maybe going off on the deep end itself. I don't know. For me, I just didn't really see like any like significance on why that should have been regarded as the album of the decade.
Let me chime in. They lost me when they said this was his like magnum opus of an album, which is false. Late Registration is one of Kanye's best albums, hands down. Great. Late Registration. My album of the decade has to go to Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly. I think he really revolutionary. Like, it was a very revolutionary sound where he was able to mix funk with hip hop. He also put everybody on their A game when he did the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. All the stuff coming up to the album. He jumped on that track with Big Sean, called out every rapper, told them they need to get their shit together. It really like elevated hip hop at the time, where it's like, yeah, we're all having fun in Kumbaya, but I'm the best, and I'm gonna tell you I'm the best, and you guys need to step it up. And I felt like that was a turning point for hip hop when he did that.
Yeah, like we got to remember, like, Complex has become, it's a great place for gathering of the culture of clothing and, you know, like art and stuff like that in hip hop, but it's become this hype beast entity now where they just want to get attention for clicks. And like that Kanye West album was just, to me, it's a phenomenal album, but that was like, oh, Kanye's getting back to Kanye album. Do you know what I mean? Like, it actually, that's what it felt like for me when I heard that. definitely not the best album of the decade. Kanye, like, he's a polarizing figure, and that's what they want. They want polarizing stuff that just grabs people's attention. Kendrick Lamar is the best of the decade. Artist and 2 albums, like That Good Kid, Mad City and Pimp a Butterfly, back to back are arguably the best 2 albums of the decade. So, like, it's no contest. This is just
Pimp a Butterfly made me cry, bro.
It's just, yeah, this is just to polarize and grab attention. Their website, their magazine started off being a beautiful thing of bringing the arts together and actually talking about different things. Like the back of the Source magazine had the graffiti back in the day. Complex started off like showing the fashion from around the world and putting it together before GQ was really doing that with Mark Echo. But now it's become this whole hype beast train, and they're just trying to grab attention with clicks. Marcus, go ahead with you. What's up?
I was gonna say, since you kind of put it like that, I think I just came to realize, like, essentially Complex magazine is basically if GQ had a way more casual Friday,
yeah,
and tried to do affirmative action, and that's what Complex basically is. It's just essentially that.
As street brands rose above like the Louis Vuittons and the Purple label from those brands, that's where Complex, pushing those street brands when they were down in like 2005, 2006 with Mark Echo, the street brands rose further and higher than the Louis Vuittons and the Guccis. The Guccis and Louis Vuittons started looking to those street brands for inspiration. So Complex had that on their back. So that's how Complex rose to the power that it's at now. But they're just, now they have no real sustainable content. They're just trying to like grab people's attention. You know what I mean? So that's why it's at the place it's at.
I think the only thing they probably just have, honestly, for me, is just their First We Feast stuff on YouTube, and
that's even literally theirs.
Jesus Christ. Okay,
like,
well, you know,
that's partnered with the white dude. I can't remember his name. That's his stuff.
Sean Evans stuff.
Yeah,
Sean Evans.
That's his stuff, but he's a partner thing with Complex. So like he has his own YouTube. It's First We Feast, but they put it on their Complex show also, their channel, I guess you could say, on YouTube. But that's really his stuff. You know what I mean?
So they really don't have fuck all. All right.
Not really. And Joe Budden done dipped because he was like, y'all are corny. You know?
Oh yeah, like him.
Joe Budden started that show.
And Deez and Mero left too. Holy
fuck.
Fuck.
Because they're like, yo, you guys are just culture vultures, kind of. You know, so they're like, what are y'all doing? Like, at night, I was listening to a podcast called Two Jews, Two Black Guys, where it's Styles P and Sheik Luch. Sometimes Jada Kiss comes on, and two other guys who do the podcast. They review movies. They just do throwback movies and shit like that. But it's like two different worlds coming together and like clashing. But one of the guys were like, yo, I was a writer on Complex. They gave me $150,000 to do like a top 10, and I just threw it together and put out whatever because they just wanted hype. And he's like, I didn't give a shit. And Styles is like, see, this is what's wrong with the culture, man. You know, like he was all like, this is bullshit. And he's like, hey, man, I just want to get paid. And like, yo, kids are reading that and they're thinking that's the real edged in stone. But but that ain't it. You get what I mean?
It's
and
the
guy's like shrug his shoulders. Yeah, and I was just like, man, see, that's garbage. That's trash, man.
I sort of feel like that. I sort of feel like that. Yeah, like Complex, Esquire, GQ, fucking Men's Fitness and stuff like that. Like honestly, and I guess speaking in a millennial complaining type of stuff, it's like they're basically selling you shit that's essentially unattainable, based upon the social structure that you really have. So looking at it in that perspective, I don't really give two fucks about it. Like if anything, I would do this thing of like, oh, okay, so this is kind of cool and neat and expensive. All right, I'm just gonna go to a TJ Maxx and Marshalls in front and kind of like copy the style from that, take concept from it, and just kind of say fuck over, because like really. I don't give two goddamns on what they consider quote unquote the culture as. Yeah. Just because you sort of have like this magazine and stuff, that's pretty much, let's be honest, a fucking dying medium, the same way G4 was when it came to gaming.
You're seeing it dying. You're seeing it dying. That's why they're just trying to put this bullshit list out to try to get us to talk about it, which it works. It's working still, you know? But I miss like Lupe Fiasco's Hype Beast website that he made, Kanye West's blog site where he got a collective of real individuals who are in the culture of fashion, and he would bring like pieces from France, like old art, old stuff like that, and really show real culture from a long time ago, from Africa, from Paris, from all over the world, and just to open people's eyes on what art is from like the 1400s and the 1500s, like, and new stuff and how it influenced his like art direction with the album with Jay-Z, the cover that he has with Jay-Z in the gold. like he showed like where he got that from and who, like that's the type of stuff that I appreciated. But Complex became like this big entity that ate everything up, and now they're just trying to struggle to survive with these top 10 garbage lists.
Right.
All right, let's switch gears. I want to cover one last quick topic before we get into our worst albums. This is going to be quick. Like we're gonna meet. We can just spitball on that. I don't want to spend more than like 5 minutes on this. So Hollywood, there was a Hollywood exec that wanted to cast Julia Roberts as Harriet Tubman.
Jeez.
This is from the one of the writers, Gregory Allen Howard, who was working on the Harriet biopic. This has been in the works for, I believe, I think he said 25 years. So in the 90s, our exec read the script and said, "Oh, this is awesome. This is fantastic. Julia Roberts would be perfect for this role." And then somebody had to pull him aside and let him know that Harriet Tubman's African American and that she was a rebel that freed the slaves.
Yeah.
And his response was, "It's so long ago, people ain't gonna remember."
Hey, man.
And that to me shows you like the state of the culture. Yeah, it was in the 90s, but I feel like releasing this story now and like stuff like Complex, I feel like people just do stuff like that to create outrage that also brings clicks and brings hype.
Yeah.
To whatever product is attached to, because this whole Harriet movie is not doing that well. It's bombing right now. So I feel like releasing the story of, oh yeah, by the way, this happened.
Yeah,
puts it back into the forefront of the conversation, which may make people want to turn around and visit that. Let's switch gears. Let's go back to like the Gucci controversy that they had with black people. I feel like these events are strategically made to create this outrage that turns around making the money and puts them in the conversation. How do you guys feel about that? Because it's happening frequently. I'm like, there's no way that you have all these people on your exec table and nobody sees a problem with the stupid stuff that you guys do. Like, this is a strategic marketing move.
Hate to sound like a fucking conservative or something like that. It's like, it's basically just big old Hollywood being fucking out of touch with the common folk. That's essentially what it is. And I think I get a free pass if I like slap the fuck out of a person of color if they were like in the boardroom kind of agreeing on this type of shit too. I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure like that automatically gives me like a inward please in the backhand without being like prosecuted whatsoever. I was listening to the Brilliant Idiots, I think last week. When they had like the two Latino comedians there talking about like how out of touch some parts of Hollywood is when it comes to diversity or trying to portray certain characters and stuff. Yeah. And to me, this is not really any different. I mean, fuck, Hollywood Shuffle is basically just like them kind of showing you exactly what this type of shit we have to people of color have to go through almost all the time. Yeah. Slowly but surely we're getting diverse on this, but I really honestly think it just has to be like some extreme case of dumbass racism to get somebody like then forced fired from it, or at this point probably like a Harvey Weinstein Me Too thing for somebody to basically fucking leave so we can actually have way more talented people to come in and say, all right, this is what the market actually wants.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I'm not sure if it's them being out of touch. Like in the past, I can see them being out of touch, but like now, I really feel like it's intentional marketing. There's movies like Argo where they had Ben Affleck play Latino. West Side Story, we had people in brown face, A Beautiful Mind, House of Spirits. There was a film with Angelina Jolie where she played a woman of Black and Cuban descent, where they literally had her in brown face. That movie was in the early 2000s. But now, like when you see like clothing companies and different media outlets doing that, especially in this whole woke climate, I feel like it's intentional marketing because they're getting clicks, they're getting views. You might protest H&M for a month, but you're going to shop there next month when they have a Black Friday sale.
Here, man, Phil DeFranco has basically conditioned me to like things that people being insanely outraged by. I'm not like either not surprised by it or saying like, okay, you're freaking out until I actually look at the whole thing. The whole Gucci controversy thing is like, you fuckers knew what you were doing. So why?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Why are you trying to advertise this shit? If anything, it kind of it kind of basically says, all right, I'm not giving you any business because you're that desperate of your fucking sales that you have to go this far for this shit. Yeah, fuck you. I don't need you don't need my fucking money. In fact, I'll go to the flea market and get a Chinese knockoff. Nobody will tell the fucking difference.
The fabrics are gone. They don't got the key and lock to the fabrics, and the style ain't in their hands no more. Like it's in Japan, it's in the States, black people creating their own stuff. It's in, you know what I mean? Like it's over for them. What I'll say about this whole thing is, let them make the movie. Let them put that shit out. Let them put millions, hundreds of millions of dollars into that White Harriet Tubman movie. And then we could say, what's your name? Who's responsible for this? All right, we ain't messing with you no more. We're not giving whatever production company any of our dollars. And we could have a clear sight on who the idiots are so we don't have to mess with them.
Black people are forgiving, man. They're going to forgive them. They'll be like, it's all good 5 years from now.
I'll be like, nah, man. Y'all put this crap out. Do you know how uneducated you guys are to actually put money and back this and move forward with that and let it come out, let it fail, and just be like, okay, that guy, those guys in that room, we're not messing with y'all. Okay, we're good. I'd rather watch 50 Cent make a movie than that.
Leonardo DiCaprio's Malcolm X. You gonna watch that?
I'm not watching it, but I'm saying
by Martin Scorsese.
I'm saying let them waste their money and put that out.
Check it out. I'm gonna watch it. I ain't gonna lie, man.
Nah, I ain't messing with that. But I'm just saying, like, let them waste their money on the shit and let it flop, so then they can get out of here. Those idiot, ignorant bigots will fail and leave. We don't got to give them the warning, like, don't do it. Just, okay, yeah, go right ahead, walk off that cliff. That's how I feel.
So they wanted Julia Roberts to go from runaway bride to runaway slave.
Let her do it. Let her run right off a cliff. Let that project flop.
All right, so let's end this podcast. We're gonna end it with, we're gonna start doing our worst albums, and I'm gonna let Marcus start with that because I know he got a couple.
Just same.
I didn't know we were doing this.
Same thing with the top. Okay, I just did 3, honestly.
That's enough. Yeah. Let's talk about the stuff that you thought was terrible.
There's a bunch of records that were pretty much like just complete duds or just overall bad. I will probably get to my honorable mention before number 1, but right now I'm just basically just gonna end up saying, like, I've completely forgot that Nav came out with a record, and fuck, that is a boring ass record. What's worse than a bad movie? A boring one. What's worse than a bad album? A boring one. And Nav has this, I don't know, legit, this real talk. What I ended up doing was I told myself, I know I'm going to be bored by this record, so how am I going to stay awake? I know, I'll play Modern Warfare and get pissed off on the multiplayer. And sure enough, that's what fucking happened, because there is, like, you can listen to 3 songs. Like, this Bad Habits record is like, it's like a hour and 14 minutes. All you need to listen to is 3 songs. That's it. And that's all you get from it. Unless you want to hear from, if you want to hear something from, I guess, Meek Mill or Future, that's about it. And yeah, this album is like, woof, this is another dud for you, buddy.
24 tracks of duds?
Yeah, it's not worth it.
So I gotta take my hat off to Logic. He was able to give me 2 shitty albums back to back. Supermarket's a terrible album. It's supposed to be the album that goes with the book Supermarket that he just released. It's a lot of him singing over tracks like Bohemian Rhapsody and Can I Kick It? And he's doing it's like bad karaoke for 90s songs.
Ever since he got divorced, he just started flopping, man.
Yeah, he needs to get back with his ex-wife. Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, another terrible album. Clickbait is terrible. The production on the album is great, but the lyrical content is just him whining and complaining for like 55 minutes of him just complaining. He's complaining about Charlemagne, calling him homophobic. That never happened. So I'm just like, what's going on with it? Your mind really is dangerous because you're coming up with scenarios that never happened and you're complaining about it. Jeez. It's just very whiny, self-loathing. What's another word I could use for this shitty album? Boring, dull, repetitive.
Jeez.
Very entitled. It's like an entitled album. Like, I'm a great rapper. You should respect me. I'm great. I should be number 1. He'll throw in like little shock words throughout the album. Like he'll be rapping, and then out of nowhere he'll be like, "I'll suck a dick," and then he'll stop and be like, you didn't hear all this other stuff I said, but you're gonna focus on that one part. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, I listened to the album and I didn't really give two shits about it because one, I didn't listen to a lot of like that's what I was saying. I didn't listen to a lot of Logic records back in the day, so I didn't really have much of a high opinion of it. It's like, all right, people are just saying he just complains a lot. Whatever. I don't really give a fuck. I listened to it. The only good takeaway from Confessions of a Dangerous Mind is that Eminem had a pretty decent a flow on one of the tracks on there, and that's about it.
The production's good. The production and the beats are good. I just wish that those were beats and productions with a different rapper. Like if they gave that to J. Cole, because J. Cole has, in my opinion, issue with production. If he was to get Logic's production team and his lyrics, beautiful. But I gotta this say, project, it's just it's not for me.
Yeah. Also, before I end that, I forgot about this part. Like, I remember when that Eminem track came out, and the first line he says on that, he just puts the N-word out, and I was like, "You motherfucker!" Oh wait, he is black, isn't he? Fuck. Okay, yeah, let's let go.
DJ Khaled's album was pretty disappointing.
Fuck. Okay.
And that had like the backing of like old school money of the 90s, early 2000 budgets. Like he had like 40 music videos for this thing. And it's just every song was just like not it. Like he had like a couple of cool tracks, but this was probably my most disappointed album that I could think of right now.
Port of Miami had a lot of hype behind it, and I thought the production was good. One.
Yeah,
but it didn't live with me very long. Like
that was my next one. Maybach Music was crap, man. That was so disappointing.
Like I really just go back to the track with him and Nipsey, which is called Rich Niggas. And then I also go back to what's another track? Maybach Music I don't listen to. I thought that was too monotone. Summer Rain is okay. But yeah, Rich Niggas is probably one of the standout tracks on there. Production is very good, again, like Logic, but it just kind of all becomes one blur of nothing after a while. It's just the same stuff over and over. And
Nobody's Favorite is definitely a dope ass track on that album, but like Act a Fool just felt like it was off balance like with this whole album. It felt like it was just pushed in with Wale. I wasn't really feeling that too much. That Maybach Music that was supposed to have Lil Wayne and Pusha T on the same track together was like gonna be such a monumental hip hop moment because those two still have problems to this day, and having them both going on the same track verse for verse. Pusha T ate his food because that unreleased track came out. Push put his verse out anyways, and Lil Wayne heard that and he was like, "Yeah, I will not participate in this if he is on this track."
Lil Wayne probably had a seizure after he heard that. That lean probably hit him right after that track.
Yeah, but that just hurt the album in my opinion. Listen, when it was hyped to hear it and I heard that and they had his verse not on there, I was like,
I'm not saying this is a terrible album. It's disappointing.
Yeah, it was just disappointing. It just didn't live up to the hype.
Terrible. That was a terrible album.
Yeah.
This is disappointment.
Yeah, it was just like I was expecting something and it didn't hit that mark, you know?
Marcus, continue. I know you got some more.
I'm gonna keep looking.
Okay.
There's a lot.
So
oh God.
Number two, like I said before, the reason why I took my opinion off of the Kanye West thing is because Jesus King is a fucking trash album. I just came to constituents of it because last year I do not forgive his ass for saying slavery was a choice comment from TMZ. And I'm kind of repeating the same thing from what I said on my stuff I've been listening to. An episode where I talk about all the albums I listened to that month. SoundCloud.com/Music Monday Show. So I didn't want to listen to him because one, he tried to apologize, but he got an apology from Candace Owens, which is like, that's the dumbest apology I would get from anybody whatsoever. And two, this whole fucking album is basically that friend that sort of quote unquote friend that you have where like they knew they fucked up, but they don't want to admit that they're sorry. So they'll end up saying, "Hey guys, look, mistakes were made and we can all learn a lesson from this." That type of situation.
Yeah.
This album is basically that. It's basically
my bad. The album.
Yeah, but he's not. He's basically saying, guys, look, I found Jesus. Everything is great. Okay, Jesus. everything is cool. And I was listening to Dead in Hip Hop and Sean C talk about this, and they had a point saying, like, you can't make a gospel album and not talk about the problems that got you to this point. He doesn't say any about these problems that he got to that he's had that lead him to this. So it just feels like an empty ass, it's an empty ass rap album that pretends to be a gospel record. And what I feel like that he's essentially doing is, like, this is the same thing with the whole church and religion and stuff. Like, he's not I don't feel like he's necessarily doing this because he's found Jesus and he wants to, like, give back to everybody. I honestly, guy, think that he's basically doing this to either start a cult and then sort of mask that personification that, oh, I am Jesus, so I'm going to teach you all the praise the Lord's of Jesus for this whole thing. And that's based upon his characteristic, because this whole album is not about Jesus. It's about his characteristics as a human being, and saying, motherfucker, you need help. Go see a therapist. Don't go to goddamn church. Just go to a goddamn therapist for this. Because let's even break down the songs themselves. Like, they're vague. The productions are okay, but Kanye West comes in. He just fucks everything up in the process of it. Most of the song, the Close on Sunday thing, where you can clearly tell, like, this horrible. The second I heard the whole rhymes and stuff when he talked about that, it's like, oh, this is not a gospel album. This is just him saying shit about church so that way he can pretend it's gospel. And the one thing that I kind of, like, found out about this that made no sense, but you have to think about it, is like, wait, if you're gonna make a gospel record, wouldn't you want to have either gospel rappers or singers on here, then fucking clips come back in and actually say a few things? And even then, that whole fucking track is then undermined by all the shit that he had come out with before then. It's really, like, something that he really does need help in. He's not, his raps are not as really good anymore. Let's just be honest here. Let's call a spade a spade. He's so lost in the sauce. I think he's like fucking. He's not even lost in the sauce. I think he's just lost in, like, the vat of Kool-Aid that they left at the family reunion for so long. Like, that's how I kind of just, honest to God, see it. It's really not really worth my time. Couldn't recommend it any harder. This is just more or less a guy that really needs help. Help.
It's like a 27-minute album too. It's really short.
No, 17 minutes.
It's like about 17. Yeah, it's pretty short. Like, yeah, the intro is actually just singing. It's not even him. I honestly, like, with that album, after listening to it, I was like, he is the worst part of the album. It's a well-produced album, but he should have produced that for somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, the singing that he does and all that is, like, lazy. He should have had those reference tracks and just gave it to somebody else. That should have been Sci-Hi the Prince's next album, man. Like, honestly. Like, let Sci-Hi do his thing and just get real singers to do the parts where Kanye West is singing the melodies, and just take Kanye West off, put Sci-Hi the Prince as the artist, the rapper, and get some real gospel singers to sing those parts. And that would have been a phenomenal, here you go, Sci-Hi for always backing me, writing my raps, you know, keeping me alive. Here you go. This is your album, you know, like, could have been something phenomenal, but Kanye'd it.
Yeah, let me chime in. This album's very pretentious and shallow to me. It doesn't really have anything going on besides the production's okay at times. There's songs like Water that have potential if he was to put somebody else on the track, as like Casey stated, that could have something meaningful to say in the track. Because the melody is there, the production's there, but then he comes in just talking shallow foolishness that you can't really relate to. On God has a good beat to it. Yeah. I would have preferred another rapper on the track other than Kanye West. The biggest problem of this album is Kanye West on the track. As you said, if he produced this album and had somebody else rap and had additional singers on there, or if he was really to fully embrace a gospel album and have somebody like Kurt Franklin and some Christian rappers on the track, and he kind of just pushes back, like takes a step back and just works on the production of it, I think that would be phenomenal, because
he does it just Blaze. Just Blaze or Puff.
Yeah, to me, I don't get the passion of him wanting to be a rapper anymore. I feel like this is like a hobby that he does every once in a while now. Like, he's not passionate. It's
a lightning bolt that he realizes he can create to keep everything that else he does at a certain level. So, like, he strikes down a project, and then people look at that lightning, and then he comes with all this other stuff around it.
Shoes and some clothes.
Yeah. So he strikes, and then he talks about the album for so long before it drops. Then he drops a lazy album that's 17-20 minutes, and then he Life of Pablo, you know what I mean? Whatever you want to put the name on. And then I got my shoes around it. I got my clothes around it. I got this and that around it. And I got my place, my Disney I'm trying to make. You know, you get what I mean? Like,
yeah, so his albums are kind of like a marketing ploy. He's like, oh, yeah, I dropped this. I have your attention. While I have your attention, I also have all these other projects.
Exactly. That's what he does.
It's a sign of insecurity. Like, it's a clear sign of insecurity, like a motherfucker. Because, like, look, like, okay, you started this doing nothing. You doing raps and beats and stuff. That's fucking fine. If you're as good as to put that out there and just let it breathe as it is, everybody will like eat your shit up like by the 9 and 10 folds. Like, hell, I'll put it like this: if Action Bronson the next day comes out with his own fucking kitchenware, motherfucker talking about, if you listen to most of his rap albums, he does talk about like cooking. He used to be a chef and shit. If he has his own line of cutlery, cutting boards, fucking lemon squeezers and shit, a blender and whatnot, I'll be the first one to jump in and says like, well, the guy's a chef, so he knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah, because he's genuinely into it. Yeah,
him. It doesn't. It's nothing. It's really, honest to God, nothing. It's just certain. I'm not. That's gonna go to something
shallow,
else.
It's hollow. It's pretentious. It's dull. Yeah. It's null.
He's a producer who's, like I said the last time, he's a producer who's just like a method actor. Who's like, I want to make a gospel album, but is he really about that stuff? We can't tell because it's so shallow. But he's like, I want to make that style of an album and show that I can do it. You know what I mean? Like, he's not in the. I don't know if he's really.
This album was him saying sorry to Black Americans. He did the Sunday service. He's like, let me remix some tracks I know y'all Negroes love. Like,
combination.
I won't be surprised if he teams up with either Chick-fil-A or Popeyes and starts handing out chicken sandwiches during Sunday service. That's where I feel Kanye is right now. He's like, y'all forgive me? I got chicken.
Man, I was not buying his fucking. I was not buying his fucking bullshit when he talked about how he's going to go in religious and gospel at the very first second. Because guess what, black folks know bullshit when they fucking see it. Trust me, we went to enough barbershops to see the guy try to sell his bootleg tapes of Rush Hour when it was 5 o'clock traffic. Okay.
Hey, those VHSs weren't bad though. I had Jurassic Park 2.
I got a couple up there.
The original Ski Mask way. But yeah. What else we got other than Kanye, man? That's enough Kanye talk.
I think that's it. I was gonna talk briefly about Robert Pattinson not gaining enough weight to be Batman.
I called it, bro. I called it.
Push that back.
Yeah. Actually, I got one more. I got one more worst album of the year.
Yes.
Okay. What you got? What you got?
Chance the Rapper's The Big Day.
Oh,
Fuck this album. Fuck this album.
I Love My Wife. The album.
No, actually play that link I showed you. I want to, for people that haven't actually listened to it yet, I'm going to save you a good 90 minutes. A good 90 minutes. This is all you need to hear. Like,
the album cover looked okay though.
No,
the album cover with the crystals on it kind of looked alright.
Actually, no. This isn't a parody track. This is Chance the Rapper's actually secret bonus track he gave to a YouTuber. This is exclusive for the podcast. I want everybody to hear it. It's fire. It's fire.
Okay.
Are you all ready?
Oh, I love my wife. I love my wife.
Hey,
let's go ride a bike with my wife.
Oh God.
It's real small. Let's go to the beach and play with a beach ball. Praise Jesus God and my wife. Let's go to the beach and ride a bike. Oh, I love my wife.
Okay. This is garbage. This is straight garbage. Oh God.
No, that's actually the best part of the fucking album. That doesn't exist. Oh my God, this album, man. When I wanted to do an end of the year thing, you told me to do a top 3. I was actively trying to say, okay, what's the top 3 worst albums? All right, I will try and listen to this record. It will be the 3rd time I listen to this record. I could not bring myself to actually listen to this record for the 3rd time because it's that fucking bad. I'm not a big Chance the Rapper fan. I listened to his acid rap album. I thought it was pretty damn good, especially with Action Bronson featured on one of the tracks on there. I thought it was fucking amazing. But man, listening to this album is like, how to describe? Oh, hey guys, I'm actually getting married, right? It's gonna be a wonderful thing. I love her so much. It's gonna just be this wonderful thing itself. But anyway, as I was saying, like the album is just like, it's just bad. His rhymes are whack. The features on here are sort of meandering around. You hear John Witherspoon on it, which is kind of cool. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot. Hey guys, I'm actually getting married soon. I really do love this wife of mine. She's just absolutely awesome. I cannot emphasize this enough. She's the one, guys. She is totally the one. You have a thing where Cree Summer, the voice actor from the chick from Rugrats or something, be on the voice on there as a little girl, but you can clearly tell it's Cree Summer, and it's not really that good. When the baby's featured on there, he actually has a better rhyme set than fucking Chance himself.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, guys, hey, you know I'm getting married, right? I love my wife so much.
This album is the equivalent of your friend sends you a save the date for his wedding, and you're like, word, okay, cool, I'm coming. But every week he sends you a new save the date with a different picture of his wife, just to make sure you know he's getting married. Every week he got a new one. You're like, oh, got another save the date from Chance. Got a new picture with his wife.
Yeah, the songs really got to be great. You got to knock the songs out the park to have it like this, man. And he didn't do that, so.
Yeah, and then he came out with something called Hot Shower, and guess where that led him to it? Boy, like
White Kids Dancing.
Oh man, I was trying not to be mean when I was listening to this record, but you fucked up. Like I was pretty much in a like sex section of a store that I usually go to buy my hentai comics, right?
Yeah.
The second I like listened to Hot Shower, I was standing next to basically fleshlights and lube right next to me, and I had like the craziest look on my face, like I can't believe these. It looks like when somebody walks in, it's like, oh, this guy is about to shoot up the place. I had this confused look of like, what the fuck is going on, while I'm like next to sex toys, and I'm thinking this is by far the third most awkward position I've ever been in my life, listening to this trash ass album and look crazy at this. This record's not good.
So it's Hot Shower is like the opposite of Sir's album. So if you put that on and the girl's over, she's probably gonna just leave, and then you gotta turn around and take a cold shower because you got blue balls.
No, seriously, fuck this album. There's no emphasis. There's like no emphasis on this. It was funny because like Needle Drop Anthony Fantano gave this album a straight 0, and it's like well fucking deserved because holy god, this record sucks.
He's just getting a check. He just got the bag for that. That's it.
Hey, he got that Netflix show. He was on the cover of GQ.
Yeah.
I think this again was like a marketing ploy similar to the Kanye. All right, I'm gonna do all these different projects. Let me give them this meandering album that I have a lot of dope celebrity guests on.
What I think what's more baffling about it too is that I was listening to it, and then he made a reference to like Will Smith being in Aladdin, and you know that skit from Chappelle's Show where like, oh here's a secret track from Tupac, and they're starting to he's referencing a bunch of shit that happened recently.
Yeah. He talks about, like it's just lazy, like he's just looking around in the studio like, shit, I gotta go see Aladdin. Oh yeah, and Aladdin.
I'm about to say some controversial shit, man. I'm starting to think Nick Cannon's a better rapper than Chance now. What the fuck's going on here? I might go back and listen to Gigolo. That song was a bop.
Straight up, go on Genius. Like straight up, go to Genius and read the lyrics on these songs. They are so terrible. Like it is. Like when somebody reads this over to me, I thought, what the fuck, dude? You were a good rapper. What the fuck happened?
They're like.
Clone.
No. Oh, I'm gonna save myself for saying something offensive. I was gonna save myself from that because holy god, yeah, this album sucks. Don't listen to it. If you're curious, if you're curious, all you need to know is like listen to Hot Shower, and you're gonna be saved a lot of time because everything else is just it's not worth it. It is easily one of like the worst albums of the year.
Yeah.
Listen to Nick Cannon instead. He got some bars, bro.
What, is fucking stand up or something? Or
I'm looking to see if he got an album. He had those headphones that are like Nick Credibles or Incredibles.
Oh yeah, he did. Holy shit.
Yeah, man. I remember he bought out Radio Shack and then they went bankrupt. Look out, he making moves out here, man.
What's Brandy's brother's name again?
Ray J. He has an album called Redemption.
That. Yeah, but he got headphones too. They're actually getting a lot of sponsorships.
Yo, listen to Ray
giving out a
J's
lot of checks.
Chance the Rapper's album.
Yeah,
whatever.
that Redemption album might be fire, bro. He going through it right now.
And an honorable mention too is DJ Khaled's "Son of a Cod," son of whatever. Like, okay, I want whatever. Fuck him. I wasn't really like angry at it at first, but then he had the audacity to basically talk shit about Tyler the Creator's album.
Yep.
When he wasn't number one, and it's like, motherfucker, your songs are essentially pop. What happens. No, it's not pop. Like to summarize his but to summarize his album, really, like, imagine, oh yeah, these two artists sound really good. I can't wait to listen to their actual album than not listen to DJ Khaled shit. It's what the hell is that?
That's that Nick Cannon fire.
Oh, okay, it's faded. We couldn't really see it.
Oh, my bad. I gotta get the camera right. But yeah, that's that Gigolo.
So you liked the DJ Khaled album, or you disliked it? How did you feel?
I didn't. I thought it was just mediocre. Especially with that. I was more pissed about that track with SZA on there, trying to like use that fucking bastardized Outkast beat, which is like, really. Yeah.
When I heard that beat at first, I was like, oh, they were gonna go for this one. This is a big swing they gotta hit. You know, like they gotta knock this one out the park, and they definitely didn't.
Yeah, and apparently they hit the ball and they just went straight through their nuts too.
How are they gonna do "I'm Sorry, Miss Jackson" like that? You know,
that was fucking disrespectful.
Yeah, and I like Khaled, but that track just was not it. You know, like
she was just there to pick up a paycheck through and through. Like there's no excuse behind that. Like, hey, get your money, do whatever you want to, but whatever Khaled is doing. Fuck him and fuck whatever like his whole project of it is.
I like the song he did with Big Sean. Thank you. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, he's got some okay ones on there, but it just wasn't like as incredible as it seemed like it was gonna be. Like it was like the Ross.
The only redeeming thing was like I guess the Nipsey Hussle track, but that was mainly because Nipsey Hussle passed away, so it has a little bit more emphasis and more like impact on it. Yeah. Like if he was still alive, it would just be an okay track. And not to mention, I forgot what other song he had, but he was doing that fucking Jodeci Freakin' You song, which like I only knew that because JoJo's Bizarre Adventure already came out with the end song of this year for it, which was funny. But then him like pitching it up a little bit more is like, this shit is lazy. And you want to call Tyler the Creator like, oh, his music is not good or it's not listenable. It's like, fuck you. If this is the quality of work that you as a artist or a creator come out with, it's like, dude, just don't try. You're essentially just a star fucker. That's basically what it is. It just comes down to you just wanting to be a star fucker, and it's fine. Yeah. Just state that instead of insulting other people's talent. You know.
Exactly. Yeah, that's pretty messed up.
All right, I think this concludes this episode. Marcus, let people know where they can reach you and hit you up. Plug away.
Okay, I'm gonna get into my spiel. Thank you for letting me on your show, guys. Really do appreciate it. Really,
it's a pleasure having you, man.
Yes, it has been a fun romp adventure, nonetheless. Oh, it's almost 12:30 over here. You can find me on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Music Mondays show, and you can actually find most of the episodes I've done on there. I've done like a lot of shows where I've talked about themes in music, had guests, reoccurring guests come on there, music. Of like reviewing albums to see if they still hold up. Some of them do, others not really. And just like a whole cavalcaded experiment of stuff I'm actually doing so far. Find me on Twitter, twitter.com/JonesWithSoda, where you can actually find all the stuff that I've usually post on there. Spoiler, it's mostly porn, but I consider myself a gentleman pervert, so, deal with that. Like I usually say, you come for the music, but you end up staying for the porn. It always happens. And also, you can actually find me on Instagram, instagram.com/JonesWithSoda, where you can actually find all the stuff I actually post up in Okinawa at the moment. Hopefully at the moment, because there's a lot of shit that's going on in the background I could tell you later. And also, find me. You can email me at podcastmusicmondaysmarcus@gmail.com for questions, comments. You want to be a guest on the show, have some ideas, by all means, go through that. I have a Discord, Music Mondays Marcus #7612 on there also. Nice. So I'm around a lot of places. Hopefully when I get my shit together, I might do like Twitch streaming and stuff like that. But that's like something to look down forward into the the road itself.
Yeah.
I'm done. I need to get some water.
Yeah, man. We got to talk about that Discord stuff after, too.
Yeah, no problem.
Again, we are the Bacchanal Podcast. We are on SoundCloud, Google Play, iTunes, pretty much all streaming services. We are the BACCHANAL, Bacchanal. On Instagram, we are _Bacchanal. Bacchanal, again, is spelled BACCHANAL. YouTube. Facebook, I'm putting up live videos.
Yeah.
Instagram, where I'm making memes. I'm putting videos. We're on everything. We're trying to flood the market. We're like herpes. We're going to pop up every once in a while.
Nope.
You just got to get that itch. You got to get that itch. You got to scratch it. You got to see it. Anything else? Anything else?
Safe sex, people. Let's wrap it up. Safe sex.
No. You in Japan, man. You only live once. YOLO.
Fuck you.
I remember there's like a story of like Eazy-E. He used to like clown like Dr. Dre and all these dudes using condoms. He's like, y'all niggas pussy, bro. Y'all ain't out here on that wild side, bro.
I think you're getting that mixed up with the plot of CB4.
No, I'm dead serious. Like I was watching like those interview of like Dr. Dre, and he was talking about like Eazy used to like pick on them because they wore condoms. He's like, man, y'all niggas is pussy, missing out all the feeling when you're doing that.
Jeez.
Little did he know.
Yeah.
Yeah, how'd that turn out for his ass? Oh, exactly. He's dead. Fuck him.
Hey, I say that. That Marcus said that. That's not me. I think Suge Knight beat him up and injected him with AIDS. I've been watching The Godfather of Harlem. I've seen some wild shit. I've seen a booty goon. You know what a booty goon is, Marcus?
I know who Purple Aki is.
No, there's a guy named Ball. His name was Buster. And he'll come through. After they beat you up and they need to interrogate you, they'll send Buster in the room and he'll beat them damn cheeks. He'll have you talking in 2 minutes.
Can we end this shit already?
No. I just had to get that off my chest. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing a Michael Jackson Thriller shirt. He's transforming into the werewolf. I saw everybody.
Okay, like the Hulk, yeah.
Yeah, I see everybody's wearing like a music-themed shirt over here.
Yeah, I got a Metal Gear Solid on.
Okay. I'm wearing a pro wrestling shirt.
Oh, I thought that. Oh, my bad. I thought that shit said Metallica. I ain't got my glasses on.
Metal Gear.
I saw M. You got your wrestling shirt?
Yep.
All right, everybody. This is the Bacchanal Podcast.
Yes.
Be back next week. Peace.
Peace.
Stay toasty.